dimly lit tavern hummed with whispered conversations and clinking glasses. A lone figure in a hooded cloak leaned against the bar, his mandibles clicking in agitation. Across from him, a shadowed presence sat motionless, his fingers tapping against a worn datapad. "So, let me get this straight," the assassin growled, his voice low and controlled. "You want me to take out a human?" The hooded figure nodded, his reptilian eyes narrowing. "Yes. And I'm willing to pay triple your normal rate." The assassin chuckled, a deep, guttural sound that reverberated through his chest. Triple wouldn't even begin to cover it. The hooded figure bristled. "Are you refusing? You are one of the most feared assassins in the galaxy. Surely, a simple human is not beyond your skill." The assassin leaned in, his tone deadly serious. "It's not a question of skill. It's a question of survival. If I take this contract, I might as well dig my own grave." The hooded figure sneered. "You're exaggerating. They are just another species, like the rest of us." The assassin's mandibles clicked once more, a sign of irritation. "Sit down, order a drink, and listen. You clearly don't know what you're asking. 100 years ago, the Clorak Dominion ruled this part of the galaxy. A mighty empire, their fleet stretched from one end of the Orion arm to the other. Their conquest was inevitable, until they reached a small, unassuming system. Sol." The hooded figure leaned forward, intrigued. The assassin continued, his voice heavy with memory. "Humans weren't even a spacefaring race by our standards. They had just barely touched the edges of their solar system when the Dominion arrived. The Clorak sent a single fleet, standard procedure. They expected an easy conquest." He paused, taking a slow sip of his drink. "It took less than a week for the fleet to be wiped out." The hooded figure scoffed. "Impossible. A pre-FDL civilization couldn't possibly." That's what the Dominion thought too. But they underestimated the humans. They assumed superior technology meant an easy victory. What they didn't account for was how humans fight. The assassin's eyes darkened. They didn't fight for territory. They didn't fight for power. They fought for survival. He tapped the bar absent-mindedly. They adapted. Learned the enemy's weaknesses. Captured Dominion technology and reverse-engineered it faster than anyone thought possible. And when they finally launched their counter-offensive, a long silence followed. The Dominion didn't just lose. They ceased to exist. The hooded figure swallowed hard, but the assassin wasn't finished. The Dominion's homeworld fell in a single night. The humans had learned everything about them, how they thought, how they fought, how they ruled. And they used that knowledge to dismantle them from the inside. Assassinations, sabotage, misinformation campaigns. The Dominion's own people turned against them. When the final fleet surrendered, the humans didn't demand territory or wealth. They only had one demand: the Dominion would never rise again. He looked his client dead in the eye. And they didn't. The hooded figure shifted uncomfortably. That was just one empire. A fluke. The assassin chuckled, shaking his head. "Oh no, my friend." The pattern repeated. Again. And again. The Syndicate War. The Zrath Uprising. The Andia Purge. Every time, someone made the mistake of thinking humans were just another species to conquer. And every time, they were proven wrong. He leaned forward, his voice barely above a whisper. "Do you know how many species have tried to eradicate humans?" The hooded figure hesitated. "I don't know." "Exactly. Because none of them are around anymore. You asked why no assassin in the galaxy will take a contract on a human? Because we know what happens. If you kill one, their family will hunt you down. If you kill their family, their entire species will hunt you down. And if you somehow manage to escape their vengeance, their lawyers will find you. And trust me, that's a fate worse than death." The hooded figure exhaled sharply. "You really believe they are that dangerous?" The assassin finished his drink, setting the glass down with finality. They don't conquer, they don't enslave. They don't have to. They survive. No matter what. He stood, towering over the smaller figure. Now, if you still want to take out a human, go ahead. Find some desperate fool willing to take your money. But don't say you weren't warned. With that, the assassin turned and walked into the shadows, leaving the hooded figure alone at the bar, the weight of his request pressing down on him like a collapsing star.